Alright, starting back up in this league, I am currently 2-0 with the budget version of Red Black Reanimator. Yes, I would like to play first. This hand looks pretty good. It doesn't turn 1, but it does Chancellor. So I will keep it. Reveal a Chancellor. Get a... I'll just go for a basic. And Entomb. Oh, am I going to get major punished? No. Okay. So there's really nothing they can do anymore this turn. Let's drop that. Definitely think I want to go for the reanimate. So I saw turn 1 Cabal Therapy from them. They could potentially also be on Reanimator. They could be on Turbo Depths. No. Depths doesn't run Cabal Therapy, generally. So some kind of Dredge variant seems the most likely. In which case, I think I want these. And maybe I bring in the Crypt and the Coffin Purge. Okay, so I gotta get 2 more cards out. I'll shave an Entomb and a Cabal Therapy. I tend to sideboard very heavily on the mono-black version. On the red-black version, I think it's pretty important to not over-sideboard. This hand has 2 Faithless Lootings, and one of my reactionary spells. I think this is worth keeping. I do have a reanimation spell in hand, so if I manage to Faithless Looting into something good, that will be nice. Veteran Explorer. I've been seeing a lot of Veteran Explorer lately. Veteran Explorer actually helps me out quite a bit in this situation, because he means I don't have to worry about my own mana all that much. So, oh, another Simian. Okay. I'm going to play out the Bloodstained Mire. Loop. Discard a Marsh Flats. And... guess I'll do the Animate Dead. Oh, I am so dumb. What am I doing? I am playing this entirely wrong. So I have just completely punted this game away. I forgot about the ley line. Okay. So rethinking things a little bit. I think I do want to keep the Animate Dead. I do want to keep the Coffin Purge. Yeah. So I don't think I would have changed my play too much, but I should have been thinking about that more. Coffin Purge can hit an Uro, which I believe they play in this Veteran Explorer deck. Okay, that's worth casting. I will grab a Badlands, cast a Duress, take a Green Suns. I'm probably just going to get beat to death by a Questing Beast, but I suppose we'll see. I do have a bit of time. I will go get... I guess I go get the Scrubland here, because most of my answers are white. Okay. So I don't have the Feed the Swarms, which would be helpful. I don't know why they would name Entomb when they have a Leyline in play. Do I Coffin Purge something here? I don't think I do. If they want to name Coffin Purge, they can. So going back and thinking things over, this happened, I believe, after I had realized they had the Leyline, but all things considered, I think I should have kept the Dark Ritual. Because Dark Ritual gets me closer to hardcasting Gristlebrand, which may be one of my few ways to get out of all this. Okay, so this game, I don't feel like I played particularly well, but also I don't feel like my hand lined up particularly well against them. And yeah, basically just bricked on um, two Faithless Lootings. Okay, that's the end. That's fine. Let's play better this time. I don't know why they still have Culligan's Command in their deck against me. That doesn't do much of anything. Okay. Probably do want to mulligan pretty aggressively towards those. I'm gonna pull the Tormod's Crypt. back the Feed the Swarms. Or not back, bring in the Feed the Swarms. Bring in the Chancellors. Bring out the Coffin Purge. I'm not trying to care very much about a late game Uro at this point. Maybe I pull the Elesh Norn. One Duress and another Exhume. Yeah, I'll do it that way. Okay. Yeah, that hand is a mulligan. I was just trying to think if it would be a mulligan if I was still on the non-budget version, and I think the answer is yes, because it has to crack its 1 mana to Faithless Looting to get the 2 fatties in the bin. This, again, is a mulligan. I don't need 4 Faithless Lootings in my hand. This hand looks a little better. Okay. So I can therapy myself to put a Gristlebrand in the yard. I have a Feed the Swarm to kill a Hate enchantment. I will keep it. And I will put Ashen Rider and I think it's between the Spirit Guide and the Dark Ritual, and I think it's Spirit Guide. Okay, there's the ley line. That's not unexpected. I do need to draw a reanimation spell. Discard is bad. Maybe I should have blown Feed the Swarm. Like, blown Dark Ritual, Feed the Swarm, therapy myself. Yeah, that was probably correct. Thoughtseize Part 2. You got it. Start the game with a Leyline and 2 Thoughtseizes. Good stuff. Yeah, I think they just had really good hands against me turn 2 and 3. Or games 2 and 3. And a threat to boot. Okay, that's something, but unfortunately, if I crack this to get a Badlands to cast it, I no longer have a way to get white mana to knock out a Leyline. And now they've got an Ooze in play, so I'm basically just screwed. Okay, Maybe I should have kept the 2 Dark Rituals. That would give me some chance to hardcast this Griselbrand after a few more mana. Yeah, I don't feel like I played particularly well here, but I also feel like their deck just lined up extremely well against me. Um, and my Faithless Lootings have just been ass. I've cast so many Faithless Lootings this match. They are just not doing anything. I guess that's what happens when the opponent has a ley line. So far, Feed the Swarm has not felt good in this deck at all. And now I'm just dead on board. Okay. So Feed the Swarm feels pretty good in mono black, not in mono red, or not in red black. And that's probably just because red black wants to be more explosive and wants to do something like cast its enchantment removal spell at end of turn, or like drop the Serenity and then ensure that everything is gone as the new turn starts, and not have to do something like cast a sorcery speed, Feed the Swarm. That said, I may have punted game 3 by not wiping out that leyline right out, like on turn 1 when I had the chance, and letting them get a turn to Thoughtseize away my Feed the Swarm. So that was probably my fault. I probably could have won that. So, live and learn. Yeah, because I drew plenty of Faithless Lootings after that, and could have Faithless Lootinged into that Reanimate. I'm not sure if they could have dealt with it in some way after that. They did draw the Ooze, but that was later. Maybe the Ooze could have come down sooner and ate my thing, and then it wouldn't have mattered, but yeah, I do feel like I punted there. New card, learning to play it in the deck. So I suppose that will happen from time to time. Also, their deck seems fairly new. I'm not sure what... I've seen it a couple of times now, but I don't know that it's much of an established archetype. I played against... I feel like I played against kind of a bug version of it with a Veteran Explorer, and I feel like that was not a bug version. That was more of a Jund version. So maybe their deck is some new thing. I'm not sure if it got some new card. Usually I don't like to let the video just go here while I'm searching. I try to stop it and start it, which is why I do videos that don't involve more than one game a lot of times, because I'll just stop a video if I'm sitting here in queue for 3-4 minutes. So I will... Oh, nope, never mind. Okay, getting in. Alright, this hand. Duress, Entomb, Reanimate, Double Chancellor. What more could a person ask for? Keep, reveal, reveal. Okay. Blooded Strand. Probably just gonna get a regular swamp. Dark Ritual. Okay. That won't work. Yeah, I am gonna go for the duress here. In case they were trying to bait. Okay. Now they just scoop it up. Alright, so they know what I'm on. And that's fine. I want these things. And I want these things. Those are the things I want. Maybe I only need 2 rebs. So the days makes it feel more like Delver than like a Snoko pile. So let's see. I don't think I need those. I can shave a bit of this. Do I take out the rider? So I'm going to try taking out the rider. I'm not thrilled about it. And maybe I take out... Ugh, that leaves me with only like 2 things to reanimate. So I'm going to take a guess and say that they're probably on... Temur Delver? And I'm going to do that. Well, no. I'm going to do that. Okay, this hand can kind of go off, but it's slow and I have no protection. If they have Graveyard Hate, but if they just keep a heavy counterspell hand, then I have 2 Exhumes to go through, and I have the Surprise Simian Spirit Guide to pay for a daze. I think I'll keep it. Mystic Sanctuary, which is notably an island. Okay, even more redundancy here. So, Cabal Therapy myself. Name Griselbrand. Potentially I could have also just not dropped the land and gone to discard. That doesn't reveal my hand. Maybe that would have been the better line. But it is a turn slower. Mountain. Okie doke. So the question here is, do they have Surgical? I thought about using the Simian to pay for this, to leave a black open in case it resolves. because then I actually get to do stuff. Frantic Inventory. Draw a card, then draw cards equal to the number of cards named Frantic Inventory in your graveyard. Okay. Alright, so this is what I was hoping to see. This is a Force of Will. So I was hoping with this hand what you want them to be doing is just trying to um, stop everything with counter spells, because I had redundant reanimation spells, and so if their plan is to just try to literally counter every card I play, um, they're 2 for 1ing themselves every time they force it. That said, they do seem to be drawing a lot of cards. Uh, I could try to double spell, but that lets one of them get dazed, and I think playing around daze is more important. Chooses to shuffle. That's good news for me. Ooh, I like that. Almost did that in the wrong order. Pay for days. Big Zoom goes off and I get a Griselbrand. Draw some cards. Nothing I can really do with those cards. I'm not going to get much to do. They are playing red, so they could have some kind of aggressive burn in there somewhere. I doubt it very much, but okay, they conceded. Alright, so I managed to not completely bungle that one up. And I am now at a winning record for this league, so good for me. Beating people with much more expensive decks than I. That is the goal. That and trying to work my way up to a more expensive deck for myself, which is going kind of okay. I sort of banked 30 tickets worth of cards and decided to get Ether Vials with it. So that's progress towards probably goblins, but Ether Vial gets you towards a lot of decks. I've kind of been thinking about what other cards I could get to start working more towards that might help, possibly in the decks that I'm playing. And the ones that come up for the mono black version that would also I would want for goblins would be some variation of 2 Mindbreak traps and 1 to 2 surgical extractions. No more time for that now, though. Now it is time for reanimating. They mulligan to 5. They're mulliganing pretty hard, which makes me want to open on the duress. If this were a Lotus Petal, I could potentially just try to go off, but even then I still think the duress is the more prudent play. Okay. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to get a snow-covered swamp. And I'm going to duress you. And it looks like Eldrazi. Okay. I should be able to beat this next turn. That Chalice of the Void would have hurt me quite a bit. But I don't think they can do anything now. Okay, so there's an Eldrazi Temple. I am going to go for the Animate Dead, just to preserve life a little bit. Eldrazi is an aggressive deck. I think this is probably way too fast for them to do anything to me. But doesn't hurt to be a little careful with my life total here. Next turn their whole hand is gone. Sure thing, bud. You can have a Thought-Knot Seer. You can take one of my 2 reanimates. And then I will Ashen Rider your Thought-Knot Seer. Sack it to take any card in your hand. And then knock out your Eldrazi Temple. Okay, they are done. So this is a Chalice deck. It is also a deck that sometimes brings in Leyline of the Void. I don't think any of these cards do anything. And I don't think these cards do anything either. They can have trouble racing a Grave Titan. But primarily, just want to bring these cards in. And take some of these cards out. The only other thing I'm thinking about is maybe it's not great to pull all the Chancellors against the Chalice deck. I'm going to go with it as it is now. Okay, this hand, I like the Serenity. I can cast the Serenity. I can Faithless Looting a Griselbrand into my yard. This seems like a keep. It may be too slow. There is a chance of that. They may just be hitting me on curve all the way. They've got double Chalice into Blast Zone. Or sorry, double Leyline into Blast Zone. But no Chalice of the Void, which I think is great news for me. So, I'm just going to play out a Snow-Covered Swamp. Do I Therapy them for Chalice? No, Chalice gets hit by Serenity. Maybe I Therapy them for... So they can't cast a Thought-Knot Seer. Maybe I just Therapy them for what's in their hand. I'm going to do Thought-Knot Seer. Two Matter Reshapers and a Grim Monolith. They did not draw land, so that's good. Play this, crack it, get a scrub land, get a white, cast my Serenity. They missed another land drop. Excellent news. Okay. Play the Badlands. Cast the Faithless Looting. Draw another Faithless Looting. So I guess that's something. Got a Gristlebrand in the yard. That's also something. Kind of have too much land and not enough reanimation spells, but they have nowhere near enough land. Grim Monolith. If they use that to cast a Matter Reshaper, I will be thrilled, but they don't. So I could Wear Tear it. That would be mean. Drew the Reanimate. Yeah. I think it's worth it. Just trying to burn through as much of my deck as I can here. Get rid of you, and yeah, I probably, well, you ever really have enough mana? Let's get rid of you and you. I don't think I need to draw more cards than Gristlebrand will get me. Okay. Can they kill my Gristlebrand? Oh, I have to discard more. Reanimate can go. Maybe I should have pitched the land or the therapy, but alright. That one was pretty smooth. That does seem like a good matchup for me if they don't draw like a handful of hate cards. But maybe there's a lot of things that are a good matchup. Or excuse me, hiccuping. That if they don't draw a large handful of hate cards, I can just roll right over. Yeah. Not super impressed with the Feed the Swarms in this build. I think I'll probably go back to the Serenity and the other Wear Tear. Maybe I'll keep like one and just bring in back one more Serenity. All in all, that version of the deck feels pretty sweet. It makes a nice break from the mono black when I'm getting a little tired of the mono black, because the mono black definitely lacks the consistency of the red black. Even if it has some neater ideas, like going a little bit later with like Pack Rat and Toxic Deluge against decks like Maverick or something like that. So, but yeah, I think Reanimator is one of the better ways to play budget Legacy online. It's certainly not that budget if you go for a red-black if you're doing it in paper. But hopefully I've been able to show that there's various builds of Reanimator that can do a pretty decent job, and that there's room to improve and play well, and that there's interesting lines to take. And so I'm going to call that the end of this video with a nice 4-1.